heretic. Furthermore, I believe I distinguish in the Quran allusion to transformation of human morphology taking place in sequence in different phases as modern science demonstrates. These verses have become accessible to human understanding only in the modern era. The ancient commentators, as well as today's translators and commentators, could not and cannot grasp the real meaning only a scientist understands. I shall not emphasize the well-known spiritual sense attached to the creation of man from the ground, which appeared in many verses. But the Qur'an evokes after the creation a second phase wherein God gave form to man. This Surah Al-Araf, لَقَدْ غَلَقْنَاكُمْ ثُمَّ صَوَرْنَاكُمْ ثُمَّ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ. We created you, and thereupon we fashioned you. Thereupon we told to the angels, bow down to Adam. Man was fashioned harmoniously. Such is the mention of Sawa, which applies to man in the Surah Al-Hijr and the Surah Sad. Moreover, in the Surah Al-Infitar, it is specified that الَّذِي غَلَقَكَ فَسَوَّاكَ فَعَدَلَكَ فِي أَيِّ سُورَةٍ مَا شَاءَ رَكَّبَكَ. God is the one who created you and fashioned you harmoniously and in due proportion. In whatsoever form He willed, He made you out of components. I will follow with the quotation of verses which speak for themselves, if I may say so. من سورة التين لقد خلقنا الإنسان في حسن تقويم. We created man according to the best organizational plan, for I suppose that such is the meaning of taqweem. As to the following verse, Surat Nuh, وَقَدْ خَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَطْوَارًا, He created you in stages. I have suggested in my last book that atwar, which appear once in the Quran, could be related to the transformation undergone by the human species throughout the ages. Indeed, all those who have studied embryology are well aware that it is in the uterus of the mother that are outlined, then settled, all morphological transformation which will fully develop in the adult. The stages through which the embryo passes in the uterus, to which one generally relates the word, are just as applicable to the entire human lineage. Finally, when one has in mind the data provided by the study of fossils concerning the successive waves of human types in the history of our species, how can one not compare these two verses of the Quran with these findings? Surah Al-Insan, where God speaks of men. نحن خلقناهم وشددنا أسرهم وإذا شئنا بدلنا أمثالهم تبديلا. Verily we created them and strengthened all of them. When we willed, we replaced them completely by people who were of the same kind. From the Surah Al-An'am, in Yasha yuzibkum wa yastakhlif min ba'dikum ma yasha'u kama ansha'akum min dhurriyyati qawmin akharin. If God wills, He destroys you, and in your place appoints whom He wills as successors, just as He brought you forth from the posterity of other people. These two verses consequently emphasize the disappearance of certain communities and their replacement by others in accordance with the will of God through the ages. What greater compatibility can one find between the Quranic teachings and the perfectly established data of science in the field of paleontology and many other disciplines? Let us remember that they were absolutely unknown at the time the Quran was brought to the knowledge of men. Such is the important lesson that any objective scientist must draw from these facts when we have a valid awareness of the origin of man, or could we come to any other conclusion? Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for your kind attention. Assalamu alaikum.
While the questions are being collected,
Have you comments to the...
I don't have after you speak,
Please eliminate all the questions which are not in cause in the relationship. Otherwise,
we reconcile Australopithecus as being the earliest human on earth, and the teaching that according to Adam, made in the most perfect way, according to the religious, was the first man on the earth.
it is an excellent question, but I suppose that the author had forgotten quotation of the Quran, what I have recited. At first, now we suppose that the Australopithecus is the most ancient man known, but we are not sure at all that in the years to come, and maybe later, after that stage, we might be in a position, paleontologists might be in a position to discover other forms. We suppose that is the most ancient one, but for the future we do not know what will be the discoveries. And second part, in the Quran you have a verse that I have quoted from the Surah Al-Araf, لَقَدْ غَلَقْنَاكُمْ ثُمَّ سَوَّرْنَاكُمْ. We created you, and thereupon, summa, we fashioned you. So that there is absolutely no contradiction between what I told you concerning the most modern discoveries of paleontology and the teaching of the Quran you have quoted.
The next question is, what inconsistencies do you find in the Quran?
No. It is not about the matter of the lecture.
I am requesting you to ask question concerning this subject, please. Somebody asked about the healer. We don't want to answer this kind of question. According to the scripture.
No, don't. It's too long.
The question is, according to a scripture, the age of human being is estimated 10,000 years. But according for science, the age is in millions. Do you have any explanation regarding the possibility of creating different human beings before Adam's? Do scriptures deny that man could create a different form